Hello, this is Sonia here with the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. Today is another Wednesday video, which means it's the Stitch of the Week. Every Wednesday I do a video called the Stitch of the Week where I feature either a particular crochet stitch or a crochet stitch pattern. And today we're doing a crochet stitch pattern where it's kind of like, it's like cluster stitches where it's a bunch of stitches kind of connected together. So to do this stitch, I am using decate weight yarn, and I have a G hook or a 4.25 millimeter. You can certainly use whatever hook size you have or whatever yarn weight you have. This stitch would work with a variety of hook sizes or yarn weights. So to do this stitch pattern, what you will need to do is work a chain of 2 plus 1, a multiple of 2 plus 1. So what that means is anything times 2 and then you add 1. So why don't we do chain 15. So 2 times 7 is 14 and then plus 1 is 15. So I'm going to chain 15 here. Okay, so I have my 15 chains right here. Okay, so what we're going to do for row 1 is that's going to be your setup row. We're working single crochet all the way across this chain. So in my second chain from my hook, I am going to work a single crochet, and you can work in the chain however you wish. So at the end of this row, we will have a total of 14 single crochet. So I have 2 more chains left, so we're just going to finish up this row. This is row 1. And at the end of row 1, I will have a total of 14 single crochet because I worked a chain of 15. So there we go, there's row 1. Now when you're working this stitch, it's really important to remember how many stitches you started with. So we have 14 single crochet, so just however many single crochet you have, you just want to tuck that in the back of your mind because that's going to help you out with future rows. So to start row 2, you're going to chain 2 and you're going to turn. This chain 2 counts as a double crochet, not a double crochet, a half double crochet. Sorry about that. So we're going to get started. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to insert your hook right in this same stitch right here, and pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to yarn over again, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do that one more time. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. So we have 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have a total of 4. So you can see they're kind of all clustered together, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those stitches. It's almost like a giant decrease stitch too as well. Now we're going to chain 2. So we're going to continue with this row. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go right back in this same stitch right here where you just worked and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, and we're going to go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. So we have our 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to yarn over again and insert our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop. We have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to pull through all 4 of those and chain 2. So we're going to repeat what we just did. So yarning over, going right back into the same stitch. You often don't go back in the same stitch, but this one you do. Now I'm not sure what the name of this stitch pattern is. I'm yarning over, pulling through 2, yarn over, insert my hook in the next. It might have a name, it might not have a name, I don't know. but it's a cluster type of stitch. So there's 3. So once you have your total of 4 loops on your hook, and you will insert your hook into 3 times. So you can see how they're all connected into this one, and that one. So now we're ready to pull through all 4 of those and chaining 2. And we're going to do the same thing. So this stitch I think would be nice for, it's a lacier type of stitch, open stitch, but it wouldn't be nice for blankets, all different kinds of things. Maybe even like a more open work top, a shawl, scarf, you know, just you can get creative with it. So we're going to keep going across, doing the same thing that we've been doing. Oh, we have a little situation there. This yarn is actually, it's really rough. I really don't like it, but it's great for swatching like this, demonstrating, practicing. So if you have yarn that you just don't love, you know, it's always good to have some yarn to practice with. So if you screw something up, you know, it really doesn't matter. You're not going to be too sad. All right, so we're going to keep going across. We're almost at the end of row 2. So there's my 4 stitches. Stop tangling up and pulling through. So now at the end we are going to chain 2, and we have 1 more stitch. You just work a half double crochet in that last single crochet. And I single crocheted that row pretty tight. All right, so there we go. We have row 2 completed. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of our cluster stitches. They're all grouped together there. So now we're ready for row 3. So that's why you need to remember how many you started with. So we started with 14 single crochet. We are going to work 14 single crochet for row 3. So what you want to do, we chain 1 and turn. You're going to work a single crochet right in this first half double crochet, so right in the same stitch. Now you're going to work 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Now the nice thing, it's pretty easy with this row, so you don't have to work in this guy. Don't even worry about it. You're only going to be working in your chain 2 spaces and in the last stitch at the end here. So now we have 3, so this is 4 and 5 working in the chain 2 space only. 6 and 7. Sometimes people get confused if they have to actually work in this stitch, so you don't even have to worry about it. So now we're at 8 and 9, 10 and 11, and 12 and 13, and we have 1 more because we started with 14. So this chain 2 counts as a stitch. So just pop a single crochet at the top of that chain 2, and we have 14. So we are right back with what we started with. And now we're ready for row 4. So now you're going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 for the rest of the pattern. So we'll do a couple rows, chain 2, turn, yarn over, right in that same stitch there, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook. Now this one we don't connect like we do with that one, so this is kind of like the setup cluster. So we'll just go right into that next stitch, pull through 2, we have our 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4. So now we chain 2. So now we're getting ready to connect this guy. So now we have to go back in this stitch. And then we keep going till we have our 4 loops here. So this stitch I think works up pretty quickly. It doesn't take too much concentration, which is nice. Sometimes you want those projects that just kind of breeze through quite quickly. I mean, it's fun to work something very challenging, but sometimes you need to give your brain a little bit of a break, I think, and just kind of do some mindless stitching, but still create something pretty. And we're still, goodness, this yarn likes to tangle, and it's really a rough yarn. Like, you would not want to like make a hat out of this or anything. I don't know. Might have to just make it for a doll because she's not going to complain. Or even like a blanket. It just is not soft. And I actually made something out of it, as I have a lot of it, and I tried to, you know, sometimes you can kind of kill it because it's acrylic and it'll soften it up by putting some heat to it, and that didn't do it. It's still like, she is stiff as a board here, just scratchy as all get out. Alright, so now I'm going to work my last chain 2 and half double crochet right in that last single crochet there, and chain 1 and turn. And now same thing, single crochet right in that same stitch here, and then work my 2 single crochets in each of my chain 2 spaces, and then single crochet on the end. So it's real easy to remember. You'll single crochet 1 on each end, and then in between you just work your 2 single crochets in each of the chain 2 spaces. So I'll work a couple more rows and then I will meet you back. So I worked 9 rows of this stitch pattern, and I ended on an odd row, which is our single crochet row. So if you were making this for a blanket or whatever project you were working on, I would suggest ending on an odd row. And I hope you enjoyed this stitch of the week, and I thank you so much for watching.